What is going on, yo? We're waiting for Nick to get back, but happy holidays first off. Hope everybody's holidays is going well, starting off on a good note. Welcome to the Saturday stream. But yeah, a lot of excuse me, a lot of football to be played today. Got an interesting matchup: Falcons versus Ravens. Tyler Huntley versus the first start from Desmond Ridder should be an interesting one. Lions Panthers, Gophers Darnold. I mean, expect the Lions to win that one. Let's be real. Seahawks Chiefs. That'll be an interesting one. Should be high scoring, based off of how these teams have operated at least in 2022. Saints and Browns. That one will be interesting because of the weather. Like 25-mile-an-hour winds in that one. That one will be interesting. I don't know how many pass catchers I really want to be playing in this game. Should be a game that is run by the best rushing attack. Texans-Titans. Also a 1 o'clock game. Again, should be basically all rushing attack in this one. I mean, no Nico Collins. It's Brandon Cooks' first game back in a while. Chris Moore, I guess, is a little bit viable this week, but it should be the Derrick Henry show on the other side of the ball. Malik Willis is going to be playing in his first start. It'll be interesting to see how he fares. But then it's Treylon Burks, really. It's Malik Willis and Treylon Burks. Let's see if Malik Willis can get his first touchdown. Let's see if Treylon Burks can continue to trend upward as he has in the last few weeks in that game. And then the last few 1 o'clock games here, Bengals Patriots. Obviously, we expect the Bengals to run away with this one. Giants Vikings. That'll be an interesting one. The Giants have been scrappy all year. The Vikings have been winning all year and also scrappy in close games, even in games that aren't close. I mean, biggest comeback of all time last week against the Colts. The Vikings should, even if they don't run away with this one, they'll catch up in this one. And we expect them to run away in this one. And then the Bills and Bears should be an interesting game because it is due to be the coldest game ever played at Soldier Field. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. Obviously, pluses to all the runners and basically the quarterbacks in this game. It should be the Josh Allen versus Justin Fields show on the ground. I expect both to contribute mightily on the ground this week. I mean, Justin Fields has been basically going over 100 yards on the ground every other week, if not every week that he's gotten a start the past month. I'd have to look that up, but I think last week he did it again. Let me see real quick. Yeah, 85 last week, 147 the week before, 178 the week before that, 60, 82, 88. So he's a solid bet for above 75 rushing yards. If you can find that prop bet, go for it. But he's basically a lock to be a top 8 quarterback. So it really doesn't matter about the weather because he wins with his legs. He has not finished lower than QB 8 since week 6. And he has 2 QB1 weeks overall. So he's an auto start, but he's basically going to be that whole offense. And I expect Josh Allen to be basically the whole offense for the Bills. Maybe you see a little bit more James Cook, Devin Singletary action. But and then we move on to the 4 o'clock slate, and we will get into these questions shortly. And Nick will be joining us shortly once he gets back from. Oh, what's up? What's up? Your camera's off, but what's going on? And I was gonna talk to you about this off mic, but tomorrow I cannot make it for the stream because we're hosting brunch. Right. So I yeah, with it being Christmas Day tomorrow, I mean, we're gonna take that day. We're gonna take that day. Yeah. Word. Yep. Absolutely. I threw that in the ticker and I started off the jump with that. And yeah, and we'll get to all these questions in a sec. I was just going through the slate over the next day. I was up to the 4:00 games, Commanders, 49ers. And yeah, I was just going through the slates really. I mean, there's not really much to say about the Commanders-Niners game except you're playing Christian McCaffrey. And honestly, with 15 targets over the last 2 weeks, I would play Jahan Dotson. I would in a flex spot in the pinch, because I think he's gonna. I mean, he's really ramped it up over the past 2 weeks, and I think that he's a good solid bet for another 6 to 7 targets this week. And I like Jahan Dotson. I like what he's been doing basically all season whenever he's healthy. Drafted 16th overall. Yeah. So he's viable, and obviously Terry McLaurin and Brian Robinson's been the #1 running back for that team for the past 3 weeks, really, with no Antonio Gibson interference, really. So yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything to say about this Eagles-Cowboys game? Can y'all hear Nick? Can y'all hear Nick? Throw it in the chat. Can y'all hear Nick?
Anyway, I think.
Can y'all hear Nick?
Fine.
Can you?
I mean, I've been talking. Hopefully it's not a. It's just if it's an isolated issue, it might just be like a refresh. Hopefully, just a refresh.
No, damn it. All right. Technical difficulties. Let me know if you can hear him now.
How about now? We're good now? Dang, that's annoying.
Yeah. All right. Let's repeat everything you just said.
Damn, okay.
I think they can hear you now.
Okay. So we had to switch. We just switch it over.
Yes.
Okay.
Crumpy heads.
Now
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, yo.
Christmas.
We did have
issues.
power go out yesterday, so I had to reset the whole board here.
Oh.
So it was, yeah, because of that cold, man. That cold front.
Yeah, right. It'll do it. Anyway, with Eagles Cowboys, what I was saying is, the luster on this game is a little, it's lacking a little bit with no Jalen Hurts. The Cowboys need this win. I guess to kind of right the ship a little bit. Probably more than the Eagles do, admittedly. But from a fantasy perspective, if you were relying on Jalen Hurts, or maybe if Kyler Murray, or in a super flex league, you had Ryan Tannehill or something like that. Minshew is a top. I said he's like a top 16 or 17-ish option this week, because the supporting cast is so strong. The offensive line is great. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, great combo at the wide receiver position. Dallas Goedert is back and playing today. So it's an automatic plug and play for a top 6 tight end. And the run game is obviously good. So Minshew's not going to run 10 to 12 times a game the way Hurts does. So you're looking at a strong QB2 performance at best. But he's viable in the event that injuries got in the way for you at the quarterback position, or maybe the waiver wire is thin.
Yeah, his wide receivers are basically his weapons. Give you the 7th most after the catch of any team in the NFL. So he just needs to be a distributor, and as long as he can do that, which he can, he will be a low-end QB1 candidate. So I like Minshew as well, and honestly, with the way that he plays the game, I think their offense will be fine. So I'm playing pretty much everybody in that offense as I normally would, because I think it's business as usual. Do they have the upside that they normally do? No, but also Jalen Hurts isn't going to be in there taking rushing touchdowns away. So they might have a little bit more pass catching upside for pretty much every player in this offense. You really don't know. So I think it balances itself out. So I like Minshew.
Efficiency might go down for guys like AJ, Devontae, and Goddard, but volume should go up.
Yep.
Volume should go up. And as for Dallas, I mean, you already know. You're starting Pollard. You're starting Ezekiel Elliott this week as well. 1, Zeke has a very strong history against the Eagles, and 2, he's at home. So while the Eagles have patched up their run defense in recent weeks and have been better, Zeke has a strong history against the Eagles. He typically scores against the Eagles. Zeke is, as far as I'm concerned, gets a little bit more of a boost than he normally does. Pollard's already in your lineup. CeeDee Lamb's already in your lineup. Dak is most likely your guy in 1 quarterback leagues. And if it's like, say, Dak or Minshew, you have to play Dak. Michael Gallup, I mean, look elsewhere.
Yeah, he got 0 points last week. Yeah, and Noah Brown's been blowing up in his stead.
Sure.
And now they just brought in T.Y. Hilton. So, like, it's just the waters are muddied. Jalen Tolbert's still getting no work. Maybe he sees more. I don't really know, but you can't really trust Michael Gallup.
Be a healthy scratch. But Gallup is hard to trust today. He's the guy where, like, all right, find somebody else for that wide receiver 3 spot. Yeah. I think Gallup's going to be a strong play in 2023. Remember, he's still working his way back from ACL surgery.
And in terms of the last game to be played today, Raiders-Steelers. For the Raiders, you're basically playing the top 3 if you need to in a super flex, and if it's not super flex, you're playing the top 2. You're playing Devontae Adams and you're playing Josh Jacobs. You're really not relishing playing anybody else. Maybe Derek Carr in a 2 QB, and well, yes, Derek Carr in a 2 QB, but also maybe you got to play Waller, and he's kind of a desperation TE2 with TE1 upside, but he can also give you 0 any given week. So.
Yeah, what do you have? 3 targets last week, 3 or 4 in his first game back from a 10-week absence. He did score
a touchdown. Yeah, so
he scored. So, in all likelihood, you don't have a better option to turn to.
But then the
probably
Steelers
have to fire him up.
I mean, it's Freiermuth. You're playing him top 6 tight end pretty much every week. Najee, you're playing him. Should be a high-end RB2 based off volume.
Yep.
And then
you can go back to George Pickens, I think, with Pickett back in there.
As a wide receiver 3. Boom bust wide receiver 3.
Deontay Johnson had his best game of the season last week. I think he had 10 for 90 or 10 for 98 or was it 10 for 80? Something like that. He had 10 catches. So that's a Deontay line for sure. I don't know that I'd necessarily chase that, but the matchup is spectacular. So as a wide receiver 3, you could probably do a little worse. And honestly, on the super flex front, Kenny Pickett is sneakily on the radar this week. The matchup is just spectacular. The Raiders are really struggling on the back end.
So there you go. And we'll go over these last matchups for tomorrow just to cover all our bases, because we do not have a stream tomorrow. And then we'll start getting into this chat because I see a lot of questions are piling up. We will get to those in a second. But first game tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Packers-Dolphins. You know who you're starting on the Dolphins?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in the Packers, it's basically the one question mark is, do you trust A.J. Dillon again? And I do. This is the time of year where, Nick, you've been saying it all season. When it gets in Lambeau, when it gets cold, you see more A.J. Dillon. That's when he really shines. And he's doing it again this year just like he did last year.
Yeah, well, so this game is in Miami.
But I mean, those late season games, man,
right. But the late season games where the weather, it is still weird at this time of year to be a cold weather team playing in a warm weather climate. That can mess with your body temperature and all that stuff, or just like your, or whatever, your mental preparation for the game. Like there's intangibles there. That's what I meant to say.
Right.
But regardless, Dillon is on a bit of a run here, and
he is.
They've won a couple games. So you have to think that they go back to that well as much as they possibly can. So he is absolutely flexible this week, Dillon.
And depending on what happens at some point within the next hour, I might ask to crowdsource a fantasy question for you guys. But depending on what happens within the next few hours, but just teasing that. And then, all right, the last few games, Broncos, Rams, Russell Wilson is starting again. It is notable for the first time ever. He ended a press conference in Denver not saying Broncos, let's ride. He just said go Broncos.
He's QB1 this week.
Whole new Russ.
He's a defeated Russ.
He gets all his weapons. Cortland Sutton, Russ. I believe, is playing. Judy is playing. Dulcich is playing. Latavius Murray is playing. Marlon Mack's been decent lately.
Yeah, he has been.
So, I mean, it could be against the Rams, the ailing Rams. Could be an interesting game.
Right, the Rams are done. Aaron Donald is done or is unlikely to return this year, which pretty much is
his career might be over, right?
His thoughts of retirement last year were looking pretty smart right about now.
Yeah.
But also now it could be, well, I don't want to go out that way. But anyway, that's a whole separate conversation. Aaron Donald out. Rams not really playing for anything. They're just getting ready to hit the golf course in a couple of weeks. We'll see who Jalen Ramsey is on between Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. It might not really matter. I feel fine firing up Jerry Jeudy as a wide receiver too. Sutton, again, is one of those guys where I worry about him when the two of them are, when Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton are both healthy, I worry about Sutton. But if as a wide receiver 3, you might not have a better option to turn to.
Makes me a little bit more worried about Greg Dulcich, who has gotten the targets, but he isn't being targeted in the red zone. He has one red zone look all season. So he might be getting you 8 targets a week with Russell Wilson, 7 targets a week. But they're not leading to scoring chances because the offense isn't in scoring chances enough. And when they're in scoring chances, for some reason, they're not looking his way. So honestly, he's been a late lower end tight end 1 candidate for me for the last 6 weeks. He's more high end tight end 2 than low end tight end 1 for me this week.
Yep.
But the next matchup, Buccaneers, Cardinals. I mean, you're kind of staying away from everybody on the Cardinals not named James Conner.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, you probably have to start, but it is like pulling teeth. Marquise Brown, bench. He's on the injury report this week and can't be trusted with a third-string quarterback. Yeah, you're down to James Conner, and you're praying for DeAndre Hopkins. But you in all likelihood, you have to start DeAndre Hopkins and just hope for some volume.
Yeah.
On the Bucs, Evans and Godwin are obvious must starts. The Bucs backfield is a little gross for fantasy purposes when both Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White are in there. It's kind of a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
I still like Rachaad White, but
no, I like Rachaad White too, but
he's been quieter the past couple of weeks with Fournette back and healthy.
He's more of a low-end RB2 than what we were hoping to get out of him late season. But then we got the Chargers Colts. Ugh. Colts, you can't trust anybody right now because they're starting Nick Foles.
I mean, you can start Michael Pittman, but
I mean, it's like he's a question mark at best with Nick Foles.
That's it. He's the only one. I mean, it's a great matchup for whoever gets the most touches at running back for them. It's a great matchup. Will it be Deion Jackson? Will it be Zach Moss? Will it be Jordan? Will Jordan Wilkins get in there a little bit?
And then the Chargers.
I guess
who
in theory, Moss is the guy, but
I mean, it's basically Michael Pittman and nobody else. You don't want to be starting anybody else.
Yeah, it's too difficult of a situation to trust.
And then for the Chargers, you're starting Mike Will, you're starting Keenan Allen, you're starting Eckler, and honestly, I mean, I don't know about Everett because I don't know if they need Everett this week. That's the thing. They could get up by 2 or 3 scores and then basically just run the clock out for the rest of the week, game. I don't know if they need Everett in this game, and that's why I'm kind of straying away from him too.
Could make Josh Kelly an interesting deep flex play.
Yep. But that about does it for the slate. We are down to get into some of these chat questions now. Thank you again for being patient. Thanks for chilling with us. Tommy Talaga, what's going on? Happy holidays to you too.
Yeah, happy holidays to everybody.
Out of those options, man, I would just start. Honestly, I would start. Is it PPR? Is it half PPR? Let us know. If it's standard, I'm starting Pacheco and Devonta Smith. If it's anything but standard, I think I'm just going DJ Moore and Devonta Smith. Both of them have had good games the past 2 weeks, coming off 17, 18-point weeks. Pacheco last week, 8-point week. Does he have ceiling for more than that? Yes. But DJ Moore with Sam Darnold seems to be some weird magical connection, and Devonta Smith against the Cowboys, high-scoring game. More emphasis on getting targets thrown his direction because of Minshew. I think I like both of those guys.
Yeah, give me Moore against the Lions. Give me Devontae Smith.
And then Freiermuth.
Yeah. So
full PPR.
Here's a caveat.
Yeah. Start those 2 wide receivers and then go Freiermuth.
I would go Freiermuth. Caveat for everybody today. Check the weather. Seriously, if you don't have weather.com pulled up on your computer or your phone, do it now. Look at the physical locations. And I'm explain this to me like I'm 5 years old a little bit, but I'm gonna do it. If it's like, okay, the guy's at home, where is it? If it says he's at somewhere, he's on the road, where is it? Go to that city. Or if it's a random place look up Foxborough. If it's San Francisco, look up Santa Clara. Look up the specific locations where these games are being played and check the weather. Check the wind. Snow, cold, we're just going to have to deal with that. Wind, I'm avoiding those secondary and third options as far as pass catching options and kickers. Keep an eye out. Guy like Juwan Johnson, it's not just like, oh, Taysom Hill's in there, Adam Troutman's in there, Juwan Johnson's kind of separated himself anyway. There's supposed to be 30-mile-per-hour winds in a snowstorm in Cleveland today where the Saints are playing. I would be highly concerned about something like that. So that's enough Freiermuth in a vacuum, you probably choose him anyway. It makes it a no-brainer, knowing that Juwan Johnson's going to be dealing with 30-mile-per-hour winds in Cleveland. Get that weather report pulled up for all of your guys, even your bench dudes.
Now, the one saving grace for Juwan Johnson is no Jarvis Landry, no Olave.
Sure.
And, yes, even with Taysom Hill, he's the number 1 pass catcher now. And because he's a tight end, he operates close to the line of scrimmage. He should be, if there's anybody who catches, 30% of the targets today, even if that's only 15 targets, should be him. in which case that's 5 targets from a guy that's being targeted in the red zone. If there's one guy that I might be fine with despite the weather, it's Juwan Johnson, who has more red zone looks over the last 6 weeks than any other tight end in the NFL. I mean, with no competition. So Juwan Johnson is a little bit special of a case. We might not agree there, but I do see your point with the weather.
It's just 28 miles per hour power winds, 29, 28.
They're not going to never throw, and when they throw, it's going to be him or Rashid Shaheed. I forget.
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
It's easy to remember because it rhymes.
There you go. So, like,
yeah, they're gonna have a hard time throwing deep today.
So
Shaheed, I would say,
they're
is
gonna go
not an option.
to Juwan Johnson all day when they do have to pass.
Sure, I mean, yes, that is the potential
Alvin Kamara,
benefit.
Juwan Johnson show, and
Sure.
Juwan Johnson's been a great red zone target the past few weeks.
Sure, he should be the top option in a very short passing game today.
So again, we'll get to these questions.
Yeah.
If you need a large amount of points, if you're coming from behind, like and you need a large amount of points to win in the semifinal week this week, or even in the championship, depending on whatever your schedule starts, Juwan Johnson is a dart throw that I'm willing to take a stab at. Number 2 in total touchdowns at the position, number 8 in air yards, number 17 in targets, 7 in unrealized air yards. Like, I think 9th in total fantasy points, even though he didn't really start playing until week 2, week 3. I like Juwan Johnson this week, even though
I like him too, and just in general.
The weather is tough to trust.
Juwan Johnson and Evan Ingram taking over the tight end position, just like we all drew it up.
But all right, let's.
I've said my piece on that. It's not just Juwan. It's just weather in general. Freiermuth, meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, like 12, 13, 14 mile per hour winds, not as much of a concern.
And Greg Z, Merry Christmas Eve to you too.
What's up, Greg?
You need an RB2 and a flex.
This was okay. This was the question from Tuesday. I think
Pacheco and Dillon, right?
I think we agreed Dillon should be in. Murray is your floor safe play. Pacheco is your ceiling play.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's what we agreed on.
And Satanta, good to see you, man. It's been a minute.
Satanta, how's it going?
How's it treating you over there? Because if I remember correctly, you're on the other side of the pond. How you been?
Yeah, hope all's well.
Absolutely.
During this holiday season.
Godwin versus or DPJ.
Godwin. Why is he an injury
Absolutely
risk?
Godwin.
Is he on the injury report?
I don't think he's an injury risk. I think he's fine. Godwin.
Oh, he's fine. And you're playing Godwin. You're playing Godwin even if he was the one in high winds and DPJ was the one in comfortable conditions.
Absolutely.
Chris Godwin, play your stud. Your stud.
And then Tommy, full PPR, White, Dillon, or Dobbins.
In full PPR, I'm more inclined to say play Rashad White, but
probably.
Actually, I'm gonna backtrack on that. Dobbins has been been excellent the past couple of weeks. I think he's got I'm pretty sure it's 28 past 2 weeks, 28 carries, 245 some odd rushing yards. Play Dobbins at home against Atlanta. I would play Dobbins.
And the same goes, I think, for Anthony's question down below. You're starting Freiermuth, but then RB2. I'm fine with Dobbins out of Leonard Fournette, Rashard White, or JK.
Yeah.
Dobbins.
I would play Dobbins. At quarterback for Tommy, man, I would probably go Minshew over Rodgers. Can't believe I'm here, but I think I would. The weapons are better. I mean, Rodgers is the guy you probably feel a little bit more confident about because it's Aaron Rodgers. But Minshew has the better situation as far as supporting cast. That's a tough call. I might actually lean Minshew because of his weapons.
I mean, Rodgers got weapons now too, and he's playing in the heat.
He's
but
playing
Rodgers
in warm
got
weather.
his full complement of weapons now. I think I'd go Rodgers. It's Rodgers, and I mean, yes,
it's Aaron Rodgers.
He missed on hitting Christian Watson last week, but if Christian Watson can pick off where he left off a few weeks ago, I mean, he's a threat to score a touchdown. Allen Lazard is healthy. They got rid of the Lizard King, so I mean, more targets for everybody. Woo.
More targets for Watson, more targets for, I guess, Lazard, more targets. Romeo Dubs is
Tunyon
back.
should be all the way healthy at this point, even though he hasn't really contributed.
He can go
I think I'd just go Rodgers.
Yeah,
yes, I like
Rodgers.
the weapons for Minshew, but there's just a talent gap there.
Yeah, true.
And Rodgers has been better of late.
True. And then at kicker, you have to play Justin Tucker.
Do it.
Let me just double check the wind in Baltimore. But I mean, it's Justin Tucker kicking in his home stadium. That one, you kind of just gotta grin and bear it.
Yeah. And then Anthony, starting Frymuth over Okonkwo. Like Okonkwo, but you're starting Frymuth.
Not Malik. Yeah, we're downgrading until we see some development and some growth from Malik Willis, including Treylon Burks. Nobody in that Titans pass catching group is startable.
And even though you're going up against Philadelphia, bro, I'm starting Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Sorry, real quick. 15-mile-per-hour winds in Baltimore. That's like right on that edge of like teetering. You're starting Justin Tucker. When you're teetering, you're starting Justin Tucker.
There you go.
If it was 30-mile-per-hour winds, we'd have a different conversation, but it's not. And yeah, Dak, between Dak and Goff, I'm playing Dak. Goff is on the road again, and he's playing Carolina, and they're playing well on defense. Give me Dak.
Yep.
At home.
And then, I mean, that Jags defense,
they're playing well.
You should be fine with them, man. And you didn't start them, and you have the Chargers.
But he has the You have the Chargers.
Great matchup against Indy.
Against my boy Nicky Franchise.
Yeah,
You'll be all right.
Yeah. Great matchup. Right. Trey S. Good morning and happy holidays to you.
What's happening, Trey?
Full PPR start 1.
Between Rashad White, who's got Arizona, Singletary has Chicago on the road. That one's enticing. Or Judy against the Rams. In full PPR, I would not. I mean, so here's the thing about Taysom Hill. I can't believe I'm about to say this.
I think I'm going.
You might need to.
I'm going Judy.
You go.
No,
Judy
I'm going White.
PPR?
I'm going White. Full PPR. I'm going White.
So here's my thing on Taysom Hill. We just got done talking about how Greg Dulcich has been kind of quiet recently and is not getting looks in the red zone.
I'd go Taysom Hill at tight end 1.
You might want to actually go Taysom Hill because the Saints might, run those heavy fullback packages a little bit more today. In the cold, in the wind, they may run Taysom Hill a little bit more against that Browns run defense that couldn't stop me. I can't believe I'm saying this. You may need to hit me over the head with a brick.
Start Taysom over Dulcich.
Taysom Hill is absolutely
and then
a tight end 1 for me this week.
Start Rashad White because he gives you the best of both worlds of what you're going to get with Singletary and Judy. Going to get passes thrown his direction, and he's going to get rushing attempts.
Yeah. The only concern there is he's the one of those 3 that's in a committee.
Yeah, but Singletary's also in a committee.
I guess, but Singletary.
And Judy gets all his competition back.
Yeah.
So Rashad White, because he only has one person for competition.
I'm trying to think what I would do in this situation. I feel like in full PPR, I might end up leaning Judy. He's been good recently. I know Sutton is back. I might actually lean Judy in full PPR. But all three of those options are pretty strong, and I'm pretty sure all three of them are pretty good matchups too. They are. The Bears struggle against the run, so Singletary should be fine in the cold. White should be fine against a bad Cardinals defense. Judy might see Jalen Ramsey, but that's not as scary as it used to be in years past. Honestly, any one of them is viable. And I would play Taysom Hill over Dulcich.
I'm just going Rachaad White because he gives you again. If he doesn't succeed through the air, he's going to succeed on the ground. Greg Z, if you're adding Cordell Patterson to that mix,
that doesn't change anything for me. He's against Baltimore on the road. I think I would avoid
Isaiah
that.
P. and Dillon. Go back to them.
Pacheco ceiling, Lat Murray floor. Dillon feels like a safe play. I guess I would go, and Murray, again, to the point of everyone's got their competition back. Murray has, Sutton back. So depends on what you want to do. Murray is safe. Dillon is safe. Pacheco is a little boom bust. Not bust. He had 8 points last week, but obviously that's a flex play on the lower end.
Yeah.
So.
And yo, Tim, Kenneth Walker is questionable, but Pete Carroll said he's expected to be active for Saturday's game. So I mean, if he's active, you're playing Kenneth Walker.
Seattle has Kansas City today. Is that in the early window or the late window?
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the routes run by Kenneth Walker. It doesn't scare me. Like he's getting a lot of routes thrown his way too.
Yeah. No, if Walker's off the injury report, he's questionable. Still on track to play. Yeah, I think you got to play Walker, Tim.
And then if you hear some bad news about him, then you can swerve and because Murray plays at 4:30 tomorrow. So
Murray doesn't play till Sunday, so
right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would go Walker.
Walker if he's playing. Matt Shen was good, man. Which two do you start? Shark, Dotson, Marquise Brown, Osborne, Burks, Dubs. Dotson and
Dubs. It's a great matchup against Miami.
I don't like Dubs.
First game back from the injury, or second game back from the injury. I mean, I don't want to play Hollywood Brown on the injury report and Trace McSorley.
I don't want to play Shark against the Panthers. There's no reason to really target him.
I don't want to play Burks because Malik Willis is in there.
Osborne
I don't know if I want to chase the Osborne points.
I'd rather go with Osborne over Dubs, though. I'm not a fan of Dubs.
What did Dubs do in his return last week?
What has Dubs done ever?
He had 5 catches for 55 yards. It's not bad. Dubs has had some good weeks prior to the injury. Against Buffalo, week 8, 4 for 62 and a touchdown. Against New England, week 4, 5 for 47 and a touchdown. Week 3, 8 for 73 and a touchdown against Tampa Bay. I would play Dotson and
But that
Dubs.
was before those games were before they were using
before
Christian
Watson's blow up.
That was before
his blow up.
Robert Tonyan started playing a full complement of snaps.
Maybe that helps him.
I mean, maybe. I would.
To your point, Lizard King is gone. The
if
starters
you're hoping
are
for
Watson
5
and
for
Dubs.
55, I would go back to the guy who just had 180 something yards. And
We have the week before that though. Like I like Osborne, but he's got very dart throwy.
Basically 5 for 55 is what he can give you, but he can also give you 170 something, which I can't say for.
He can also give you 1 for 8.
Yeah, but so can Dubs.
I guess. I like Osborne. I mean, would you go You're not going to say. I mean, you want to play Dotson despite the bad matchup.
Yep.
That's fine. I would put my weight behind Dubs, Matt. It sounds like John would put his weight behind Osborne.
Yeah.
We are split there. Both should be fine. Again, Minnesota's at home in their comfy dome, so no weather concerns.
Osborne has scored a touchdown
Dubs.
in the last 2 games. It's on a hot streak.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's the third or maybe fourth option behind Jefferson, Thielen, and Hawkinson in any given week. Maybe not Thielen anymore, but Dubs has a clearer path to opportunities.
He's number 3.
Yeah. Could just play both of them and sit Dotson if you're worried about the matchup against San Francisco.
I like Dotson. I'm playing Dotson. Out of those options, I'm playing Dotson.
We're split there, Matt.
Yep.
I think I would go Dubs, and John would go Osborne.
Yep.
But we're off Hollywood. We're off Burks. We're off Chark.
You got an answer for Tim Shields, Gano, or Pinheiro?
I would go Gano because the Vikings are giving up, I think, the most points to kickers on the season, and it's in a dome.
There you go. Laura and Jim Cooperman. What's
up,
happening?
Cooperman?
Happy holidays to both of you. Need 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and a flex in a PPR league. Foreman. White in the flex.
Foreman, Algier.
Ayuk and Lazard.
Lazard has been quiet recently, I feel like. But I guess
Lazard,
of these options, he's your best.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I mean, he has been quiet, but two weeks ago, he had 11 points, 6 targets.
Yeah.
I'm cool with going back to that.
Yeah, I guess you can go with the Lazard.
And if
Lazard,
you look, he's
I'm fine with
weeks
Lazard.
since week 9, and so he's due for 1.
Yeah, Ayuk and Lazard are fine as your 2 wide receivers. Running back and flex. Yeah, White and Foreman.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions are killing it stopping the run this year. Just FYI. It's a tough matchup for Donta Foreman. The Detroit Lions have been really good stopping the run. Now, they are at home.
But you got to go back to him coming off of, 24 rush attempts?
Yeah. He didn't do anything last week.
What did he do? I guess it was 21 rush attempts the week before. Last week it was 10. And yeah, Hubbard is looking better than him the past few weeks, but I think you still go back to Foreman.
10 carries for 9 yards, and it's an even worse matchup this week than last week.
I think Hubbard is asserting himself, but weirdly enough, I didn't see that coming.
Would you go Osborne over Foreman?
In a full PPR? In a full PPR?
Foreman could get this roll back, but it's a bad matchup. The Lions have been really good.
I don't know if he gets his roll back.
Yeah.
I don't know if he gets his roll back. Look at the past few weeks. Below a 50% snap share, 47 and then 30, so it's trending in the wrong direction. If he's only getting 10 attempts on the ground and not averaging something crazy, which is not his game, he's not getting targets. So no, I would go KJ Osborne coming off of that crazy game. I know you don't want to chase that, but he's had 11 targets, 8 target weeks before. This isn't a complete anomaly. He's had that this week or this year, and he's coming off of 2 straight weeks with a touchdown. Do you want to chase those touchdowns? Not necessarily, but in a full PPR, if your option is Donta Foreman, I think you do that. A descending Donta Foreman.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, a descending, or that's what it feels like with Foreman, a descending option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. White, Ayuk, Lazard, Osborne. Yeah.
Hey, Tim. If he doesn't play, then sure. But if he does play, then you want to be playing Kenneth Walker.
Do you move Dylan to your RB2 and put Hill in your flex? Sure, you can do that too.
Yep, but only in the event that he doesn't play.
Only in the event that Walker doesn't go.
DJ Duvernay, Merry Christmas
What's
Eve
up,
to
DJ?
you too. Need confirmation on 1 flex, full PPR. Hopkins or Montgomery in a snow game? I'm going Montgomery, dude.
Need the safest floor?
Montgomery.
Then Montgomery, yeah. The Bills can be had on the ground, and the Bears are at home.
And it should be a weather game where
it's gonna be cold. Yeah. It's gonna be
They're
ground
gonna be
game.
running the rock a lot.
Yep. I would
no
play.
Claypool,
yeah, if you need the safe floor.
No Mooney. Yeah.
Yeah. If you
should
need the
be
safe
their number
floor,
1 option.
Montgomery. Yep.
Huntley or Darnold? I'm in this situation where I got to choose between the two. I'm going Huntley, even though he hasn't looked great. He just comes with that rushing upside that I covet.
So just what I was just saying about the Lions, they're really strong against the run. They're terrible against the pass. I might lean on Darnold
against ATL, Huntley. I'm not scared of that matchup.
It's not that I'm scared of the matchup. Huntley's on the injury report himself, remember, and it's been a couple of bad weeks in a row. This is a great matchup for him at home against Atlanta. Darnold has the most favorable matchup of anybody this week by the numbers against Detroit, and he's been a little bit more consistent.
I'm looking at what Darnold has done the past 3 weeks versus what Huntley has done. You know what? I'm swerving.
I'm going to say Darnold. Yeah, I'm going to say Darnold. Against the Lions, it's the best matchup of any, the Lions are the most favorable matchup for opposing quarterbacks this year. They're at home. The Panthers control their own destiny to the playoffs. I'll take Darnold. He's been safer.
Yep.
He's been safer. Yeah.
And then Satanta. You are from Ireland. Yeah, respect. There
you go.
Singletary, Montgomery, Godwin in the flex, Andrews or Hill at tight end. You're playing Andrews.
You have to play Andrews.
Gotta play Andrews.
I know you're here, and congrats on making the semis, first time ever. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's what we love to see. You're here in spite of Mark Andrews, not because of Mark Andrews, but this is the week to fire up Mark Andrews against the Falcons.
And Montgomery in the flex. Or no, Godwin in the flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And yeah, bro, he's a diehard Eagles fan. Let him keep the beanie.
This beanie's going.
Even though
it's
not cold in California, so there's no reason for him to have it on. But
it's cold in the mornings. Relax. It's cold in the mornings.
What qualifies as cold, bro?
Like 30 degrees.
Oh, get out of here, bro. It's
cold.
like -8 outside right now.
Well, that's that East Coast nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of that.
Cat Mackin, what's happening? Start Broncos D or Pats D and start Dak or Brady. Dak.
And the Broncos. I'm not playing the Patriots against Joe Burrow. I'll play the Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos got a great matchup.
I'll play the Broncos against Baker Mayfield, even though it's on the road.
Yeah.
I'm not playing the Patriots against Joe Burrow. No, sir.
And can you start Goodwin? I mean, I don't know if I would.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett's out, and it's against Kansas City. Yes,
okay.
yes, you can start Marquise Goodwin.
Well, who are the options? Who are the options?
Sure, who are the options? But in a vacuum, yes, you can start him today. It should be a shootout, or Kansas City can force any. Let's put it this way: maybe it's not a shootout, but Kansas City can force any team to just have to throw. And with Tyler Lockett out today, yes, you can start him.
There you go.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yep, figured that out. Thanks again for helping out. Excuse me, Shane Tuck, start 3, full PPR. I'm going Higgins, Montgomery, and between Sanders and Dobbins, I think Sanders gets a little bit more run this week. I do. Just by nature of it is a backup QB.
Dobbins.
But I mean, Dobbins is enticing.
Dobbins has been better the past couple of weeks, and
I think I play Sanders though, so we're split there. But
Higgins
and Montgomery for sure. I like
Higgins
Sanders
and Montgomery for sure. I would play Dobbins because of the matchup and the run he's on. I think John would play Sanders because of better situation. Should see a little bit more volume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the QB vulturing touchdowns.
Yeah. Right.
But we would agree, Brett.
Yeah, I think Minshew's got I would probably put him around 16 or 17 in the quarterback rankings this week.
And Sarwar Abdulatif, good to see you. Jeff Wilson, Pickens, Zach Moss, or Jackson, the Colts running back, Deion Jackson, have PPR flex option. I mean, Jeff Wilson. Isn't he the number one unquestioned RB? Is Raheem Mostert back?
Mostert had a spectacular game the last week against the Bills. Mostert was awesome. Jeff Wilson's on the injury report. He's listed questionable with a hip injury.
So maybe Pickens then.
I mean, since he got hurt against Houston, Wilson had 1 touch against San Francisco week 13. He had 4 touches for 26 yards week 14. and then last week he was out. He's on the injury report with the hip injury. I would probably go
Moss?
Pickens here. I would go.
Would you go Moss or Pickens?
I would go Pickens because I don't have to think about who the potential. I don't have to worry about who the running back is going to be for the Colts because I know that Pickens is going to be out there for the Steelers and he gets Pickett back.
True.
I would go Pickens.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would go Pickens. I would avoid that. Those running backs scream headache to me. All three of them. They scream headache to me.
And yo, if it's a choice between Geno and Minshew, I'm going Geno, bro.
Geno, he's been top 10 all year, and
going
he's
up against
Kansas
KC.
City.
Yep. And then Mixon, Murray, Singletary, choose two. Mixon and Murray.
Playing Mixon and
Murray.
I really like Singletary's matchup this week against Chicago.
Yeah, but he's number 3 for me.
Didn't he have a? I'm just looking up some recent performances for him.
With the kind of emergence of James Cook, plus the fact that Allen can vulture a goal line touchdown whenever he wants, and Hines getting his first touchdown last week. Like it seems like they're mixing in all their running backs now, and that's going to take away from Singletary's upside.
All right, fine. Mixon and Murray. I like Singletary's matchup this week, but yeah, everybody else is getting involved in that offense.
Yeah. Vito Tropeano, good to see you.
What's up, Vito?
Huntley, A-Rod, or Minshew?
I think we settled on Rodgers here. He's been playing a little bit better. He gets Romeo Doubs back. A.J. Dillon's finally turning a corner. It only took him 14 weeks, but whatever. No weather concerns in Miami. Think slight edge to Rodgers over Minshew.
And Devin Labascio, good to see you. Merry
What's up,
Christmas
Devin?
to you too. I think I go DJ Moore. Been on a hot streak with Darnold lately. Is a threat to go over 100 and a touchdown pretty much whenever Darnold's in the game playing quarterback because he's
Moore's
the only
been really
person he
good.
looks to.
I think he was kind of quiet last week, but
wide receiver 16, 18 fantasy points. He was quiet the week before.
Oh no, he was good he was good last week.
20
Sorry,
fantasy
5 for
points. So 2 out of the last 3 weeks, he scored at least 18 fantasy points with Sam Darnold. I'm going back to
home.
I'm going back to
at home in a great matchup against the Lions.
PPR.
They're probably gonna have a hard time running the ball. Yep. Give me DJ Moore. Sorry about Christian Kirk. I would go DJ Moore.
Geno, Darnold, or Minshew?
Geno. He's top 10.
Dulcich or Waller? That one's
Waller.
tough. I think I go Waller too.
Waller.
Yep.
Waller.
And Crumply Heads is staying away from Tampa Bay backfield compared to those running backs you mentioned earlier. Who did you mention earlier?
I mean, that's fine. It is a little dicey. It is a little dicey.
Yeah.
They cannibalize
Mixon,
each other
Murray,
a little bit.
Singletary, got you.
Yeah. That's fine.
And then Tua or Dak? I'm playing Tua.
Tua at home with those weapons. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tua.
I mean, Dak is good quarterback playing against a very tough defense. Tua doesn't quite have that obstacle.
Nope. Tua has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Tua.
And Hunter L started ETN over Juju. Did you make the right move?
What's up, Hunter?
Tell, bro. What's going on, Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, you got almost 13 half PPR points. I'd rather have that than wonder if Juju can match it.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. But yeah, you're fine.
Left
Tommy's
hook,
first question
Lily.
way back at the top was full PPR. DJ Moore and Devontae Smith for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Left hook, Lily, what's happening? Kenneth Walker or Najee in half PPR?
Pittsburgh's got
Kenneth Walker if he's playing.
Raiders.
But Najee is a great swerve.
I would play Najee just because he's not on the injury report. Walker is.
If Walker is playing, I'm playing Kenneth Walker over Najee.
I think man, that's annoying that you have to make that choice, but I would play Najee.
You might end up just playing Najee, and he's not a bad swerve. But if I have the choice, I'm playing Kenneth Walker.
But George, I mean, yes, you're starting Kenneth Walker if your only other option is Deion Jackson.
Yep.
Yes.
And I would play Minshew over Purdy.
I would, yeah. If you're leaning Minshew, play Minshew. I took Purdy out in a super flex league for Minshew, so there you go.
Sean F, Mike Will, or McKinnon? Mike Will, PPR. I like McKinnon a lot, bro. But, I mean, that's one thing where it's like, do you go back to that 31-year-old jerk McKinnon coming off of a career day that he's literally never had before? Do you go back to that, even though he has had consistent target allotments over the last few weeks? I think I just go Mike Will because he's the wide receiver one.
Yeah, I guess I would go Mike Williams. It's a great matchup for McKinnon, though.
Yeah, and he could. I mean, he could do well again this week, but I just between those two,
McKinnon is safe. Mike Will is the guy. Is the ceiling play.
And Seattle versus KC is gonna you don't want that defense, bro.
He's just checking the weather.
Okay, word.
Yeah, that's not a concern for anybody. If it's 10 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour, that's not a concern for anything, including the kickers.
The Browns is a good offense. Or defense to target there, trippy. I like the Browns. I like the Titans. Titans going up against Houston. Browns going up against New Orleans. I like both of those options. Cleveland with the 25-mile-an-hour wind. I think I edge Cleveland because they just could come up with some weird, silly shit.
Something weird could happen. Any weird play.
Yeah,
I might play it safe and play the Chargers just because they get the Colts who are dead and broken.
Yep.
I would probably play the Chargers personally.
And Crumply Heads, I am in the same position as you, and it really depends on whether you need a floor play or a ceiling play. I am in the position where I need a ceiling play, so I'm going Juwan Johnson. If I needed a floor play and I was fine with that, I'd go Greg Dulcich because I think he gets the same amount of targets he normally gets with Russell Wilson, but they don't happen to be targets that happen in the red zone. So you're hoping for a good PPR day. Juwan Johnson could just score a touchdown on the 2 targets he gets and put him ahead. In between interesting factoids in between Taysom and Goddard, gotta go Goddard.
Gotta play Goddard. I have to play Goddard.
Tier break.
Yeah, there's a talent level there.
Should be around tight end 7, tight end 8 this week. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend as well, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, it's gonna be a good holiday weekend. We are not available tomorrow. If any questions come up late as it pertains to tomorrow, I'll try to check the Discord before kickoff, but it's going to be a little hit or miss. So hopefully we can help today, and hopefully everybody, of course, enjoys their holiday weekend and whatever holiday break you hopefully have going on.
And I mean, Crumply Heads, Goodwin, or The Wire. I'm not going on The Wire for those guys. If that's Allen Robinson, still no. Like, that's the only Robinson that I can think of. There aren't any other Robinsons.
Wandale's on IR. James Robinson already didn't play.
Right.
I don't know what Robinson that is. I would play Goodwin. So, I would just play. Yeah, I would.
Goodwin. You can't be Brian.
Yeah. Goodwin against the Chiefs. Yep.
Yeah. Alex Dine, if you're starting Jones, is Flex and Dillon viable as well?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't love the idea of doing that. You're capping
your upside a little bit, but it also, it's a little boost. Got some security there as well.
Could boost your floor. Yeah. I mean, it all comes to who are your other options. That's what it comes down to.
And then Fat Golfer, what's happening? Sam Darnold or Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis?
Darnold. Darnold's been pretty safe. It's as good of a matchup as you can ask for.
I mean, you just came off of you being glad that Kenny Pickett is back. The Vegas isn't a tough matchup. I think I like Kenny Pickett, man.
Nah, I do as like a last ditch effort in Superflex leagues. I'll play Darnold, who's been safer and is in the better matchup. They're both great matchups, but Darnold's is better. and he's been pretty safe.
Oh, yeah. Detroit's giving up the number one.
They are number
fantasy
one.
points to opposing quarterbacks.
Lions are number
Yeah,
one.
okay. Darnold. And
Darnold.
Jay Brennan, Craviero, what's happening? I'm going Juwan Johnson, but Nick might have a case for somebody else here. I've kind of stated
Otten.
my case for Juwan Johnson, though.
I'm going Otten, and this is simple. One, there's no weather concerns playing out in the desert in Arizona, and two, it's Arizona. They are giving up the most fantasy points to tight ends.
It's enticing. It's enticing.
Give me Cade Otten. This is the week where I want Cade Otten. And yeah, because of the 30-mile-per-hour winds, I do prefer Otten to Juwan Johnson.
And I prefer Juwan Johnson because
the matchup is
basically
see,
scoring
that's
a
the other thing
touchdown a
with
week
Juwan
over the last 6 to 7 weeks.
I know, but the weather's bad, and also on top of that, it's a terrible matchup. Cleveland is bottom 5 for opposing tight ends.
But he'll basically be performing like a wide receiver out there with no
That's
Jarvis
fine.
Landry, no Chris Olave, and so he's gonna get a target bump. And when I think the stat is when he has at least 4 to 5 targets, he performs like a top 12 option. So and with the upside that he comes with, because he has had multiple tight end 1 overall weeks, I think I'm just going Juwan, man. So we're split
no
there, and
disrespect.
we will be split there on Juwan.
I think Cade is the better play. I do.
Chargers or Browns, Tommy? I think Nick said Chargers.
Chargers for me. The Colts are broken.
And
Colts are broken.
Murray's safer than White is Crumply Heads.
Murray's safer than White.
They're
got
close.
appealing.
I would rather have play Murray though if I have the choice.
White's got appealing upside. Murray is safer.
And then Zeke over Hopkins. I mean,
I'd throw Zeke in there for sure, and that's fine to play both Zeke and Pollard. That's fine. When that is your option, Hopkins can be benched against Trace McSorley or with Trace McSorley. Zeke does well against the Eagles for his career, and Zeke traditionally scores at home in his career.
For the same reason that you're not mad at playing A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, I'm not mad at playing Zeke and Pollard today if you need to.
Yeah, I would play. Yeah, I would play both of those guys over Hopkins. Play the Cowboys backfield.
And Itty Bitty South City, top of the morning to you too. I would play Taysom.
Yeah, give me Hill over Okonkwo. I'm not chasing any Titans pass catcher for the rest of the season. Nope.
And if I have the choice between Juwan Johnson or Komet, who doesn't have, yes, he's playing in a cold game, shouldn't be as windy.
Shouldn't be as bad.
And he is the number 1 target because there's no Claypool, no Darnell Mooney, obviously. I like Komet out of these options here for Calimero. And then honestly, I like
Dart Throw City.
And then I like Knox, and then I like Juwan Johnson.
Dart Throw City. What is the weather in that Chicago game? It's freezing cold. I don't know how windy it is in Chicago right now. I'm looking that up right now. Oof. 23, 22, almost as bad as Cleveland. Yeah. Anybody on Calimero, any chance Cade Otten is out there? I want to play a guy in a dome or in a warm weather situation. This is hard to trust. All 3 of those guys are in less than ideal situations this week. All 3.
I mean, is it ideal? No. But if they're all going to be playing in the weather,
I guess Komet.
I want Komet. If you have the choice between all 3 of those guys who are all going to be playing in weather, I want Komet. Leon, Dobbins today or Judy tomorrow? Dobbins. He's been on a run. And Iron, Merry Christmas to you too.
What's happening, Iron? Good to see you, man.
A non-PPR, Chubb, Pollard, Najee, McKinnon, the first 3.
Yeah.
And non-PPR, the first 3.
I'll take the first 3. Take the studs that got you here. No disrespect to McKinnon, but he's on a 2-week heater, but he didn't get you here. Those first 3 guys did.
Yep. And
no, Crumpler. I'm playing Goodwin. I'll take a stab at Marquise
then Osborne,
Goodwin.
And then Chark for me. That would be.
I'm taking a stab on Goodwin over other ancillary wide receiver options with Tyler Lockett out and the Seahawks playing Kansas City.
Goodwin, then Osborne, then Chark.
Sure.
White or JK in PPR? JK still.
I'm still going Dobbins. He's been on a run. He's been doing. The past 2 weeks. He's been great.
Yep, but I want to play both of them honestly.
Yeah.
But if I have one for the flex, it's JK.
Yeah. Yeah.
New era, what's happening? This is for Bijan, guys. All right. What's your question, New era?
Yeah. I'm confused. What's for Bijan?
Interesting factoids. What's my favorite Christmas song? I don't have a favorite Christmas song, but if you're looking for my favorite Christmas album, there's a couple of great. There's 2, I think. Afro Man albums out there where all he does is just do remixes of Christmas songs where
there you go.
Like just not PG-13, but Deck the Halls is Deck My Balls. Feliz Navidad is Police Blow My Wad. It's all.
Hey, there
it's
you go.
great. So check that out. That's always fun.
I'll give you that look. There you go.
Fun.
I like it.
12 Blunts of Christmas. No.
Now that
Classic.
one I can get on board with.
Classic. Afro Man. Check it out. Y'all think Fields goes over 75 rushing? He's gone over 80 rushing in the last 5 weeks, I think. So yes.
Just call it a layup and keep it moving. That's how awesome he's been.
Yep. And I would go Hawkinson over Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I got to play Hawk. He's at home in the dome. No concerns. Hawkinson.
And I mean, if Fields is hard not to play this week, but if you can stack Burrow and Chase, I do kind of like that. I do like that. So I think I guess in that position I am stacking.
The scales.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess that tips the scales. What's the weather in Foxborough tonight? I believe they're playing a 425 game. Weather's not as bad. 10 miles an hour in Foxborough. 12 miles an hour in Foxborough. Not bad. Sure. That's fine to play Burrow and Chase. That's fine.
Landon Lombardi. If I can stomach a floor week, Darren Waller. If I am down bad, say I played 2 guys that didn't give me any points on Thursday and I really need the points,
and I'm
down to go
Devin
Taysom.
Ingram.
Right. In that situation, I'm down to go Taysom.
There you go.
Keenan, worried about Higgins this week. Don't be.
Don't be.
It's Higgins.
Don't be.
You just got to play your studs, even in bad matchups.
It's not Keenan. I just looked at the New England weather is not as bad as some of the other parts of the country. The wind is it's less than 15 miles an hour.
There you
go. You're fine. You're fine.
And just go CD J cross country.
Yeah, Jay, just go CD. Not on the injury report. Full PPR. Top 6 wide receiver. Just go CD Lamb.
Damon Luce, good to see you. Need 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers and a flex. Well, Barkley, and then considering what they have to deal with weather-wise, I am playing Kamara this week. 2 wide receivers, you're playing Chase, you're playing Waddle, and then in the flex, you're playing Amon-Ra. And
there's too many good options here, man.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm doing.
Chase, Waddle, Amon-Ra is who I'm playing.
I'm playing Saquon. I'm playing Dobbins. I'm playing Chase. I'm playing Waddle. I'm playing Amon-Ra.
And instead of Dobbins, I am playing Kamara with no Mark Ingram and with the weather that they are dealing with because they're going to have to lean on him. So I am.
Yeah, man.
I know Kamara hasn't been great, but I am.
I hate to do this, Damon. I promise you're going to have really good performances on your bench.
Yep.
I mean,
you do every week. You know this.
Yeah,
you know the deal.
You know the deal. You're going to have studs popping off on your bench. My recommendation would be, honestly, find 2 more league mates next year.
Yeah.
Makes the decisions easier.
And
You're gonna
Rojo
have
Fish
dudes pop off.
Hey,
What's
man,
up, Rojo?
It's been fun being in those members only leagues, man. Hopefully, I mean it was interesting to see how the zombie went. My team was terrible in the members only league, so I was kind of tuned out after my quarterbacks ended up being Taylor Heineke and Matt Ryan or Sam Ellinger.
I'm a favorite, but it's by no means over, Rojo.
But yeah, hey, I'm glad you had fun with it. It has been a weird year in fantasy, as always.
It always is.
As always.
It always is.
Tight end situation here for Damon. Knox and Njoku, Komet and Okonkwo or Juwan.
I guess we kind of agreed on Komet.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because they're dealing with weather in Cleveland and Njoku too.
Well, they're dealing with it in Chicago.
Yeah,
but
no, I was just. Yeah, Komet.
Guess Komet.
Interesting about Jerick McKinnon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. He's still a safe floor play. He's still a good RB2. McKinnon's come on real strong recently, but he's not a ceiling play. He's not going to get a 30 burger. Remember, they played Houston last week. It is a great matchup though at home against Seattle, but yeah.
And the Philadelphia defense is good, but this week I want to be playing Buccaneers versus Arizona.
Yeah, give me the Bucs against Trace McSorley. I'll take the Bucs against Trace McSorley for sure. And that was DeMarcus Rob. Yeah, no, play Goodwin, Crumply heads. Play Goodwin.
Forget about him.
I forgot about that guy.
McKinnon or Foreman, have PPR McKinnon.
This is where we're going McKinnon, Joe. Yeah, we're going McKinnon over Foreman for sure. Bad matchup for Foreman. The vibes have been not as good. They've been trending in the wrong direction for Donta Foreman.
And in terms of the tight end break for Juwan Johnson, I mean, this week there are a lot ahead of him. Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson, Kittle, Schultz,
Goddard,
Freiermuth, Komet we just talked about. This week, like it really is. Do you need a huge week, or can you stomach a floor week? If you need a huge week, he does jump ahead of some people because he's capable of that. If you just need a floor week, I would put Everett and Dulcich and Knox ahead of him, and then Njoku and stuff ahead of him. But if you need a ceiling week, I do think he is a sneaky top 10 option this week. So it really depends. White Boy and what's happening? David Montgomery, Kenneth Walker, or J.K. Dobbins?
Only play one of these guys. I mean, I'll take Dobbins because of the heater that he's on.
I'm continuing to say I will play Kenneth Walker if he's healthy, if he's playing. But if he's not playing, then
that's annoying that you have to make that call. There's gonna be a guy on your bench who's probably gonna play well.
Yeah, then I'm going Dobbins.
But
Kenneth Walker if he's playing. Komet over Juwan Johnson, Crumply Heads, just because they come with similar touchdown upside. They're both the number one targets in their offense. It's just Justin Fields is a better bet than the combination of Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Komet over Juwan Johnson, because he has two QB1 or tight end 1 weeks and two tight end 2 weeks in a 4-week span. The upside is legit for Komet. Just could be tough. It's there for Juwan Johnson too, but with Komet, I just believe in it a little bit more. Crumply Heads, Nick would go Otten.
I would go Otten. I like Otten over these.
I would go Komet.
Otten is like tight end 8 or 9 for me this week because they're playing Arizona. And if I lined up at tight end against the Arizona Cardinals, I would score a touchdown.
And yeah, a new era. We're down with Darnold. Nick talked me into it.
Okay. Yeah, no, give me Darnold.
Against the Lions, giving up an average of 24.75 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks.
Playing for beat John. Got you.
Darnold.
Yes, sir. Play Darnold.
And interesting factoids. Glad I could
pass
that along.
Go. I need to check that thing out.
Yeah, it's great. There's two of them. Not only did Afro Man make one crazy Christmas album, he decided to make 2. Why? Because he got high.
Because he can do what he wants to. Yeah. True.
Iron, Dulcich, or Everett. think Everett is a little bit safer. He at least gets red zone looks. If you look over the last few weeks, he gets red zone looks. Dulcich has 1 on the season.
What's that all about?
Well, they never get into the red zone, and then when they do,
that's true. That's a big problem.
When they do, Russell Wilson throws picks.
Yeah, I'll roll the dice on the guy catching passes from Justin Herbert over the guy catching passes from Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
I'll take Everett.
Yep. Interesting factoids: Flex, White, Taysom, Pittman, Sutton, Pickens. Pick one. Pittman.
I was thinking
Foles?
Pittman here. Yeah, I was thinking Pittman. I mean, Foles is good enough to support his number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, Pittman.
And in a vacuum, you would play Pittman over all of these guys anyway.
Yeah.
At least they're at home. It's not a great matchup. It's not a great situation, but I mean, they don't exactly have Jonathan Taylor to lean on for most of this game.
True.
Pittman is the best option in that.
They're going to want to redeem themselves after last week too.
That might be over.
Hey man, they're going to try. They're going to try.
They might be mentally broken.
But we would both go
that.
Pittman. Interesting factoids.
Pittman.
And Xavier, what's Bracken? I would go
What's
Schultz.
happening, Xavier?
He's a top 6 option this week.
I'll take Schultz over Waller just because, yeah, he's been a little bit more consistent.
I would go Danny Dimes over all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, I would go Dimes on the road against the Vikings. Great matchup. They're going to have to keep pace. I'll take Dimes, and Daniel Jones will run.
What's the format, Xavier?
For what, Schultz? Is D-Hop a star? Oh, dude. Wow.
Like, in half PPR, PPR, I might just go D-Hop.
And hope for the best.
Because it's D-Hop. But if it's standard, it's Pacheco. Yes, I know the quarterback is a huge downgrade, but it's D-Hop.
It's D-Hop.
And nobody else in that offense is doing a whole lot.
Last week, 11 targets, 7 catches, 60 yards. I mean, you're hoping for a floor play.
Yeah, so I might just go D-Hop in half and full PPR.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Don't feel great about it, but
that.
Full PPR.
I don't feel great about it, but it is
D-Hop.
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
New Jeru's, good to see you. Just real quick.
What's happening, New
Jerusalem? Down below. Just go Fields.
Cousins is safe. Fields is
Xavier has one more part of his question is a kicker question for you.
McLaughlin at kicker, solid. Yeah, he's the Colts kicker, right? I mean, they're kicking in a dome against the Chargers. Points should be scored. Foles should be good enough to get the offense in scoring position. Yeah, I mean, he should be fine. He had a great game last week. He should be fine. I want kickers in domes today or this weekend. If it's Justin Tucker, you have to start him. If it's Nick Folk, you probably have to start him. If it's Daniel Carlson, even though the weather in Pittsburgh's not great, you have to start him. I want kickers in domes this week and warm weather. So a guy like McLaughlin is perfectly fine.
And Joshua, good to see you. I would go Pickens.
Pickens, DPJ, or Taysom. Yeah, take Hollywood out, and I would put Pickens in. I normally like DPJ, but I don't like that weather. I don't like that snowstorm, 30-mile-per-hour winds that the Browns and the Saints are going to be dealing with.
And Gavin Mertez, I would go White.
Yes, Gavin, I would go Rashad White. Deontay had a nice day last week. I don't know if I'm chasing that yet. White's got a good enough matchup in his own right. Jamal Williams, I would not play on the road against the Panthers, who are playing well.
And Damon Lewis, assuming that's James Conner, it's kind of a no-brainer.
We're playing Conner. Yeah, we're playing Conner. They're gonna give him all the work he can handle with a third-string quarterback in there. Conner.
Yep. And Crumpy Heads, yeah, I would.
I would take Otten.
Is Otten safer? Sure. Does Komet offer a lot more upside? Yes.
I don't know that that's true. and it's not Kmet versus Otten. It's any tight end who plays Arizona. It's any tight end who plays Arizona. That alone boosts the upside of the tight end playing them. I mean, I guess John would prefer Kmet. I would take Otten, Crumply Heads. I would take Otten. No weather concerns in the desert. No wind. No 25-mile-per-hour winds to worry about. And you look at
the tight ends that they've given up points to. It's Travis Kelce, 23 points. Darren Waller early in the year, week 2, right before he dropped off, 14 points. And then Dallas Goedert, week 5, 13 points. Juwan Johnson, week 7, 17 points. Noah Fant, week 9, 13 points.
Noah Fant. Hunter Henry had a big
Tyler
week
Higbee and George Kittle. So, like, it is the elite options that are buoying this. I mean, you look at the other. I mean, yeah, Eric Tomlinson got to 10 points because he got 3 for 28 and a touchdown last week. But like when they played the Patriots, it was 8 points. When they played
Hunter Henry,
8 points for Hunter Henry. When they played the Chargers, it was 5 points for Gerald Everett. So it's not every week, and it's not an absolute given. It's when you do score a lot against, or when you do have a boom week against the Cardinals, it's a very big boom week. But it's not every week it's Arizona Cardinals giving up a ton of points. There are weeks where they don't. And Cole Kmet just has a ton of upside.
I think Otten. I think Otten has more upside. I do.
Okay, we're gonna disagree there. So
yeah,
is what it is. There, we're gonna disagree. Hopefully, us talking through it helped Crumply Heads. But
yeah.
And Tommy Talaga looks good. Solid.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You should be fine. We should be getting inactives rolling in here within the next about 8 minutes or so, 7 or 8 minutes.
And Xavier Dobbs, I hope you win this week, man. I hope everybody in here wins this week.
Yeah, let's get closer to that second number.
Absolutely.
What do we say?
And Tommy, you looking good, solid, looking good to go.
Yeah, you're all right. You're doing fine.
And yeah, Damon is James Conner, then play James Conner.
Yeah, play Conner. Tim, if you're doing a pick'em, I would hit that. Over. I would take a shot on that over. I would take a shot on that over.
They're not. Xavier Taysom isn't playing QB, but there was a report that came out yesterday that they're going to be relying more heavily on Taysom and his gadget dual threat ability, just because he can rush from under center, and because of the wind, because of the cold, they're going to have to go to a run-heavy game script. So Taysom Hill should see more runs from under center, and he typically does pretty good with that. So that's why, yeah, he will be starting at QB. Not going to be throwing a ton of passes, but yeah.
Jake Trotter, the Browns reporter for ESPN, just tweeted out, "I have no idea how either team is going to be able to complete a pass today." Between the Browns and the Saints.
There you go.
Yeah, I would be. I'm serious.
I'm continuing to worry about the Juwan Johnson, but
as you should be. You should be worried about Juwan Johnson.
I'm not confident in a lot of these other options.
I'm confident in somebody who doesn't have to worry about the wind of this magnitude over somebody who does. Play Juwan Johnson at your own risk. And honestly, the same goes right up the ladder all the way up to Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashid Shaheed, the Saints tight ends. Well, I'm not going to say Troutman, but yeah, all the way up the ladder to Amari Cooper. We have to be incredibly cautious about pass catchers today. It's going to be difficult. We're looking at floor games across the board. For these pass catchers at best. I would be very worried if I had Amari Cooper right now.
There you go.
Yeah. And honestly, the same officially goes for the Chicago game because the weather is not much different in Cleveland. I would be Cole Kmet, Dawson Knox. I mean, you have to start Stephon Diggs. You're benching Gabe Davis. honestly, I would be looking for guys in domes or warm weather climates. Seriously.
Yeah, the more I think about it,
Seriously.
if all these games are going to be 25 miles an hour, you don't want to rely on the pass catchers unless it's a guy that you can't move away from.
Right, like Stephon Diggs, you have no choice. You have to play.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, it's bad. It's bad. Be very careful with pass catchers playing in games in the Midwest today.
Yeah.
Be very concerned. Seriously. In Chicago and in Cleveland, it sounds like is where it's the worst. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, New England, also not great, but I'm less concerned there. It's Cleveland and it's Chicago. Players in those games, pass catchers and kickers for that matter, very concerned. Very, very concerned.
There you go.
Cade York, Will Lutz, who's the Bears kicker, and Tyler Bass, like avoid.
There you go.
Yeah. So yes, guys like Taysom Hill, much more viable. The running backs, you're fine. Like Justin Fields, you're fine because he'll run.
Yeah.
He'll run.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think because he might be under 100 yards passing today. He could be. So then, like a guy like Joe Burrow, Jay Cross Country had it a little while ago. Burrow versus Fields. Fields might only be able to run today. So yes, go Burrow.
And Joker, you just SWA. If Kenneth Walker is starting, I'm starting Kenneth Walker. If he's not starting, you can swerve to Kamara, and that's fine. But Kamara does get a boost today.
Kamara gets a boost because one, it's a great matchup, and two, if they complete any passes today, it will be the smallest, shortest of dump offs.
But Joker, full PPR pick 2. I don't know.
Goodwin and Sutton.
I don't love Sutton, but you gotta. I guess it's Sutton.
I don't love Sutton either, but Palmer's. With Keenan Allen, with Mike Williams, with everyone healthy in that Chargers offense.
It's Goodwin and Sutton. And then pick 2 full PPR. Ramondre.
Yes.
And Montgomery.
Yes. Yes, those two.
Yep.
Ramondre and Montgomery. Is Damian Harris back today? I don't think that.
Yes, but it doesn't matter.
That doesn't change my answer. I was just curious.
I believe he is, though.
He's questionable. He's a game time call. Yep, Ramondre and Montgomery. Even if Harris was
no, the report just came out. Jordan Schultz, he isn't expected to play Week 16.
Damian Harris. Yeah. So there you go. Ramondre Stevenson and David Montgomery, Joker. And we got to
SWA's got a Nick Folk question real quick.
He should be fine. I think the weather in Foxborough is not as bad. 15-mile-per-hour winds, I'm not worried about, especially with veteran kickers who have kicked in their home stadium, their cold weather stadium, for as many years as Folk has. At kickoff, the weather. So here's the other thing with wind, guys. This is a nice little, keep this in the back of your mind. Night games, later games, the wind tends to die down. And the Patriots don't play until 4:25. At kickoff, 13 miles per hour. It's going down to 12. It's coming down to 11. The wind is going to die a little bit. Nick Folk is fine. It's those 25-plus mile-per-hour winds. Tyler Bass is probably the biggest kicker name today that I would not play him. I would not play Tyler Bass. That also goes for Cade York, Will Lutz, and I'm blanking on whoever the Bears kicker is. Sorry. But Tyler Bass is the big name at kicker who I would not play today. Folk should be fine in less than 15 mile per hour winds. He should be fine. But I would not play Tyler Bass today.
There you go.
And New Jerusalem, Kirk more than Fields because of the weather.
I would just continue to go Fields because
I think I would still go Fields because he might run more. He might run more. He might run more.
Yep. And Xavier Dubs, you got a good chance. Both teams have a good chance. I like both teams have strengths. Both teams, I could see the other team pulling it out. Who do I think will win? I don't know.
Or who do I think will? I
like the running backs from the first team better. I like the quarterback from the second team better.
I'll take the first team.
Tight end from the first team better. The wide receivers I do like from the second team better. But I mean, I'll
take CD over Ayuk. I'll take team one. Hopkins is the weak link today.
Yeah.
Hopkins or tomorrow night, Christmas night.
And you think Crumply Heads is going the right way?
I don't think I would do that. I think I would play Nick Folk. I'm not worried about 13-mile-per-hour winds. I'm not. What's Jake? I feel like Jake Elliott has been not great this year.
Tim, I would bet that Chubb over 81. Yes.
Probably. Jake Elliott. I'm just checking real quick.
And I would go with the first 3 Trey while you're checking that.
Yeah, Elliott's been kind of blah this year. I would go Folk, Crumply Heads. I would. I'm Nick Folk. Yes, I'm throwing all the caution flags out there about the wind and the weather today. Nick Folk is not one. It's less than 15-mile-per-hour winds in Foxborough. Not as big of a concern. I'll take Folk. And Elliott's been kind of all over the place this year.
Yeah. But yo, Quinn, what's going on?
What's happening, Quinn? Good to see you.
I got some bots in here. If only he's still at Hurts. Hey man, yeah. It's tough this week, but you'll make do. You'll make do.
Yeah. Hey, it hurts.
Ha.
Pun intended.
Yeah, we did get to the end of the chat here. Yeah, I did when you were answering the kicker question.
Sorry. The first 3, Trey. Saquon, Ramondre, James Conner.
Again, no stream tomorrow, and if we would, we'll answer all questions that come up, but I would like to enjoy my Christmas Eve a little bit here too. So I would like to wrap this up, if possible, sooner than later. Not going right up to the games.
We'll take questions as they come in.
SWA, Minshew, Carr, Watson, or Rush this week.
Minshew.
Yeah, I'm down going Minshew.
I'll take
Minshew over Watson this week.
If you lost Hurts and those are your options, just play the backup. I know you're losing 10 to 12 rushing attempts per game, and obviously that super awesome QB sneak formation that the Eagles win 11 times out of 10 is certainly not going to be a thing anymore with Minshew, but he's got a great supporting cast. He's got the best offensive line in the league, and he's got great weapons. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert is back this week. I'll take Minshew.
There you go. I would too. And Zay, I would go Kittle.
Yeah.
I know Goddard, we're not expecting too much of a dip there in production with Minshew, but I would still Kittle.
I'll take Goddard at home. No Debo for another week.
Yeah, but I like Kittle. I would go Kittle.
No Debo for one more week. Kittle should remain potentially the top option.
Yep. And then between those 2 kickers, I guess you're going McLaughlin, or are you going Myers?
I need to think on that one.
All right. While you think on that one,
Zay, I'm going to come back to your kicker question. I need to think on that one.
Got 2 questions here. What's going on?
What's happening,
Knox or Taysom Hill?
Play Taysom.
I would go Taysom Hill. Hill.
If you're feeling it in your gut that he's going to have a good game, go with your gut. But on top of that, Taysom should play more today. He should get more run, literally. 30-mile-per-hour winds in Cleveland. Taysom Hill is going to be needed in those heavy fullback packages today.
Yep. And McLaurin or Devonta Smith, I think you got to go. Do you?
Yeah, Terry's playing San Francisco. That's a tougher matchup. That's a bad spot. I don't. Yeah, I'm worried. I mean, Terry should be fine, but I think Devontae's in a better spot. I do. I'm worried about Terry. If you want to play Terry, that's fine. I understand. But Terry's been a little up and down. He's been good, but he's also been kind of average. And this is as bad of a matchup as it gets. Like, good luck, Washington offensive line today. Good luck.
Fair. All right. Jones over under 33 pass attempts.
Danny? I'd have to look at his
Under.
most recent performances. I like
Under.
these pick'ems, Tim. I might dip my toes in that later today or before kickoff.
I think I would go under.
Jones, the past few, I can't look at passing attempts right on Yahoo. Damn it. I would have to look at the
32,
numbers.
27, 31, 35, 44.
He's right around there. He's right around there.
Yeah, but he's only gone over that 4 times this year. I think I would go under.
Stick with the under. That's fine.
If there is a week where you would go over, it is against Minnesota. But I think
on the
I'd
road.
go under.
And then I'm just looking up Jason Myers right now.
And Crumply Heads looks good. Happy holidays to you too.
Yes,
and
sir.
Quinn, you already know, man.
I think I might
Hopefully
take the Colts kicker, Zay. They're kicking in a dome. They're at home. Backup QB could stall out. Get them in scoring position, but stall out. I'll take McLaughlin, Zay.
And Quinn, hopefully you we steered you in the right direction there. Tim with
Let's
the
get
IDP.
this dub.
Hey, I don't know much about IDP, but you could go that route. Taysom
where
Hill
am I?
or Waller? Waller.
I guess Waller.
Unless you need that huge 30-point, 20-point week, Waller. And Finn Strom, Kamara or Kenneth Walker? If Kenneth Walker is playing, Kamara. Or if Kenneth Walker is playing, then Kenneth Walker. If he isn't playing, then Kamara. I'm still willing to go. I know he's banged up a little bit, but he's kind of bulletproof as far as his usage and his production when he's played. So even
Kenneth
a floor
Walker
week
is in. He is in.
Then Kenneth Walker. I'm playing Kenneth Walker.
DJ Dallas is also active for what it's worth.
And yeah, Quinn, it's always a gamble, but that's what we play this for. Mac Jones over under 33. Okay, I got you. Let me look that up real quick.
Oh, Mac? Yeah, I would have to look at, I would want to know his
over.
His most over.
Against Cincy, he's at 31, 35, 36, 39, 27, 30, 35 since week 8. So yeah, I think he's averaged more. He's averaged more.
They throw it to Ramondre.
Yeah.
Ramondre as an extension of the run game.
Yeah, over.
That's fine.
Against
That's
Cincy,
fine.
over.
I'm fine with that. Yep, I'm fine with that. And
McLaughlin over Elliott, Crumply Head.
Yeah, look, Jake Elliott might be fine today, but he's been, I guess the reason he's been so inconsistent is because the Eagles have been really good scoring touchdowns this year. So the thought process might be, do they stall out a little bit more with Minshew? A guy like Nick Folk, I'm playing over Jake Elliott. McLaughlin, now there's a little bit more of an argument for Elliott because he's just on the better offense, despite it being a backup quarterback. I might go Elliott over McLaughlin, but I'm going Nick Folk over both of them.
There you go. But again, we are at the end of the chat here. Again, it is Christmas Eve, so everybody, happy holidays in here. Hopefully you guys got your questions in. If not, throw them in the Discord, and we'll keep monitoring the Discord throughout the day and into tomorrow as well, even though we're not streaming tomorrow. But thanks, everybody, for chilling. Hope everybody has a great holiday. Hope everybody wins this week. Let's
advance to championship week.
We'll see you next week, Tuesday. Hopefully, with everybody that is in here, we'll be in there next week as a winner, moving into the championship week. But thanks for chilling, y'all. Have a good day today.
Good luck.
And
Enjoy the holiday
we'll see you.
weekend. Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Peace, y'all.